Hello, everyone. My name is Kenneth Love, and I'm the founder and executive director for Break Free Ministries. Our reflection for today is failures are only temporary tests to prepare us for permanent triumphs. And our scripture is taken from the Gospel according to Luke chapter 22. Simon, Simon, indeed, Satan has asked for you that he may sift you as wheat. But I have prayed for you that your faith should not fail. And when you return to me, strengthen your brethren. Peter said, no, I'm willing to go to any length. I'm willing to go to prison and even suffer death. And Jesus said, I don't think so. As a matter of fact, the rooster will not crow this day until you've denied me 3 times. And sure enough, in the courtyard, as they were leading Jesus away, Peter denied him 3 times. And yet, after Jesus' death, burial, and resurrection, he met with Peter and several of the disciples at the Sea of Tiberias, and they broke bread and had a good old breakfast. And then Jesus turned to Simon Peter and said, do you love me? And he asked him that 3 times. Do you love me? Then feed my sheep. And the last time Peter finally said, Lord, you know I love you. You know all things. I believe Jesus wanted him to understand that he'd been restored, that he'd been renewed, and he could go about living out the calling that God originally called him to do. And sure enough, at Pentecost, God chose Peter to preach the first message of salvation where 3,000 souls were saved. Oh, I can relate to this story because it's so much of my story. They called me not only the prodigal son, but the prodigal preacher because I could not stop using drugs as a minister of the gospel. And lo and behold, I ended up in treatment in San Jose and met a pastor from Fillmore, San Francisco, who was a former heroin addict, who took me to lunch. And I told him all the gory details. And he just said, God doesn't have you on the shelf. You've put your own self there. And I want to know, are you willing to come off the shelf and do the work that God called you to do? And as a result of that conversation, he licensed me and ordained me under his ministry. And I've been in full-time ministry ever since. So my question is for you, just this. Have you put yourself on a shelf that God didn't put you on? And as a result, not fulfilling the will of God for your life? And is there someone else in your life that's put themselves on a shelf that is looking for encouragement that you can bring so that they can do what God called them to do? See you next time.